fantasy football draft's approaching. This is the 6th pick overall draft strategy and breakdown. In the mock draft I did to start it off, CeeDee Lamb, I took him 6. Justin Jefferson was there, but in the other videos, I had with the 4th and 5th pick, I took Jefferson in those to switch it up a little. But obviously, if Justin Jefferson fell to 6, that's great value. But CeeDee Lamb, I think he has a nice season once again. Him and Dak have been locked in over the last couple of years. Lamb played majority of the season through an injury with his shoulder and arm area. And CeeDee Lamb, he's been consistency throughout his NFL career. Now they get more help in this offense with George Pickens as the number 2 wide receiver. There could be times where CeeDee Lamb still gets some one-on-one coverage where teams, they don't know what they got to do versus offense. So CeeDee Lamb, each season, 90 to 100 catches, over 1,200 yards, double-digit touchdowns. And once again this year, I think he goes out there, has a big season. Then the second round, Jonathan Taylor, he fell a little bit in this draft. I'm not a big Taylor guy going into the season, but to get Taylor at the 2-7 spot is great value. Jonathan Taylor, he's a workhorse for this Colts team. I know quarterback again is going to be a problem. Richardson banged up. Daniel Jones, I believe, is the favorite to start this season. And they got Josh Downs, Michael Pittman at the wide receiver position. But Jonathan Taylor, when he's healthy, we know he's been one of the better running backs over the last 4 or 5 seasons. To get him in the middle to late second round, I think is good value. And then once again, like when I had 5th pick overall, Josh Allen, I don't think in your drafts you're going to see him much in the mid-third round, but you can't go wrong if him or Lamar are there in the mid-third. Those are the only 2 quarterbacks I'm willing to take in the 3rd round. I know Jaden Daniels, monster rookie year last year, but I think a little bit his numbers drop off. And also if Terry McLaurin does get traded, that won't help as well. But Josh Allen, we know he does it all. It doesn't matter who his receivers are running back. He still has put up numbers year in and year out. And to get him in the 3rd round is great value. Mike Evans falling in the 4th round as well, I think is great value. Up there in age, 11 seasons in a row though with 1,000 yards. Him and Baker Mayfield, since Mayfield joined Tampa Bay a few seasons ago, they've been on the same page and they've been putting up points and making plays. So for me to have CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, I think that's a good start. And especially middle of the 4th round is great value. 5th round, Zay Flowers. Once again, I got Flowers. I took him with the 5th pick, but I'm more comfortable with Flowers as my number 3 flex option wide receiver. It could be a breakout year for Zay Flowers. I know his first 2 seasons have been pretty good, but inconsistencies have been there as well. But when you're playing an offense with running prowess, with Lamar Jackson, the best running quarterback in the league, and then Derrick Henry, still one of the better running backs in all the league, some weeks the numbers aren't going to be there. So like I said, I'm more comfortable with Flowers as my number 3 wide receiver. Then Joe Mixon in the 6th round. I still think it's a good value for Joe Mixon. I know he's banged up and he's trying to get ready for week 1. The reports have come out. But to get Joe Mixon in the 6th round, I don't think as the weeks approach and drafts get closer, he's going to be there in the 6th. But as of now, with the injury and the way he's ranked, especially on Yahoo, he's been dropping down the ranking board over the last few weeks. So, like I said, if he's healthy week 1, to have a backfield, the tail end Mixon, I would take that any day. And to go with Josh Allen, Lamb, Evans, and Flowers, very strong to start this draft off. In the 7th round, I took Jordan Mason, and that's good value. I think Mason, as the year goes on, he's going to get more touches. I know Aaron Jones, he's been a good running back throughout his career, but injuries have been a problem. And you know, Jones, he's bound to miss a few games. So right now, I think Jordan Mason in the 7th round is good value. And we saw last season filling in for McCaffrey a majority of the season before he got banged up. He was a top 12, top 15 running back. So to get him in the 7th round with potential big upside is Mason. I think it's great value. 8th round, Jacoby Myers. He's going to be the number 1 wide receiver going into the year for this Vegas Raiders team. And he had a quietly very good year last year with Myers. I know Brock Bowers, number 1 target in the passing game, obviously impressive rookie season, over 100 catches. And also Ashton Jeanty, what a draft pick. I think he has a monster year in the backfield in his rookie season. And also they upgraded the quarterback going with Geno Smith, where last year it was a carousel at times. Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew majority of the season were the quarterbacks for the Raiders. So overall they've improved, and I think Myers once again goes out there as a good year. And Cooper Kupp, I got him in the last draft, got him once again here. To get Kupp in that 9th, 10th round range is a good value, and for him to be my number 5 wide receiver, you can't go wrong there. I think some people are going to overvalue Kupp in the regular drafts, but like I said, 9th, 10th round is a great range. Even the 8th round, I would be willing to take Cooper Kupp depending how the board looks. So Cooper Kupp, it's going to be his first season over there in Seattle. Sam Darnold at the quarterback position, we'll see how that shakes out, even though Darnold had a big year until he ran out of gas towards the end of the season. But like I said, Cooper Kupp to be my fifth wide receiver and not have a pressure to start him week in and week out and just see what he does, I think is a good luxury to have. Then 10th round, I went with Jake Ferguson. Cowboys re-signed him to a nice contract extension. He's been a tight end that's going to get 50, 60 catches per year. Last year was an injury-riddled season. And also with Dak Prescott missing majority of the season, a lot of those guys didn't do much over there in Dallas. I think it could be a bounce back overall for that offense. And Jake Ferguson, even pumped in the tight end position, is still a tight end. I think could put up some decent numbers. 11th round, Emeka Egbuka I took in the 11th. Chris Godwin, as of now, it's not looking good. Reports are coming out he's going to be ready for week 1. And Egbuka, he was a solid college player. They took him with a decently round pick. It was his Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. I know McMillan, he had a good second half last season for them. We know Mike Evans still there. Obviously, I drafted him early in this fantasy draft. But I think Egbuka, lottery ticket type of pick in the 11th round. Can't go wrong. And like I said, all these drafts, in the 11th round on, you take some lottery tickets or guys who you think are sleepers and could break out. Then another rookie I take in the 12th round, Bashul Tutin, where there's a possibility Tutin could step in the early weeks and take the starting job. Last season, ETN, he wasn't impressive. Tank Bigsby, he's not a 3-down back. He's more in between the tackles and short yardage. And Tutin, though, he's got that home run hitting ability. And obviously this Jaguar team likes him, taking him with a decently round pick as well in the NFL draft. So to get him potential as a guy to start as the weeks go on early in the year. And then to round out the draft, Najee Harris was there. I know Amari Hampton, I'm big on him going into the season. He was their second round pick for this Charger team. And now obviously Harris, he's behind, missing all the training camp so far in the first couple weeks of it. But to get him in the 13th round, someone who's still, I think, going to get some touches. I'm not saying he's going to get a big workload, Harris, but change your pace and short yardage work and possibly goal line, I think we could see from Harris, because I don't think Hampton's going to come out right away in his rookie season and get 300 carries. I think 220s, 250 range is good for Hampton, but Harris, I still think, gets some work in his backfield. And we know Harbaugh, he likes using 2 running backs at a majority of the time as well. Now the final roster, Josh Allen, the quarterback, once again, great value, 3rd round. CeeDee Lamb, took him 6 overall. Could have got Jefferson, but for video purposes, change it up a little bit. Then Mike Evans, to get him in the 4th round, 1,000-yard receiver every year of his NFL career. I don't think he's going to slow down for another 1 or 2 years. Jonathan Taylor, mid-second, that's a good pick for Jonathan Taylor. I know he's had injury concerns, and he's a running back that's getting up there in age a little bit, but I still think he's solid. Joe Mixon, I know banged up, but he should be ready for week 1. And to get him in the 6th round was great value. Jake Ferguson, I punted the tight end position a little bit, but still to get Ferguson in the 10th round, he's going to be a good piece in this Cowboy offense. I know he's going to be inconsistent where he's the 3rd option in the passing game behind Lamb and Pickens, but I still like Ferguson in that 10th. Zay Flowers is my 3rd receiver. I'm more comfortable with him there. The 3rd receiver flex option is Flowers, because like I said, when you got Lamar and Derrick Henry, it's going to be weeks where the numbers aren't going to be there. Jordan Mason, got him in the 7th. He's going to be a running back that I think as the year goes on, steps right in, and he could overtake Aaron Jones with either injury or just outperforming him, because we saw last year, Mason, he's had some monster games and was top 10, 15 running back in the early part of the year. Jacoby Myers, another solid bench piece, number 1 over there in Vegas. The offense is obviously going to improve with Geno Smith and Ashton Genty adding on to what Myers and Bowers there last year. Cooper Kupp, it's going to be his first year in Seattle. I think he could have a good year for the Seattle Seahawks team. I'm not expecting, obviously, monster numbers for Kupp, and health has been an issue over the last few years. But like I said, to take him as my 5th wide receiver is Cooper Kupp. It's just good depth. And then Emeka Egbuka, 6th wide receiver. He has potential. Chris Godwin, it's not looking good for him to be ready week 1 is Godwin. And Egbuka, I know McMillan's there as well as a number 2 option in the passing game for this Buck team. But like I said, they used decent draft capital on him, and it's possible he steps into the lineup in the early going. Then Bashul Tatun, potential where he could be getting good reps and a good workload early in the season for this Jacksonville Jaguar team. To have him as a back end, number 4 running back on the roster, I think is good value. And then to close it out, Najee Harris, he really fell in this draft. I know he's not participated yet in training camp, but Najee Harris, I still think he's going to get work. Like I said earlier, I don't think Hampton's going to come out of the gates getting 300 touches in his rookie season for this Charger team, even though they did spend a second-round pick on him. So I think Harris, he still get work here and there. And like I said, Harbaugh likes using 2 running backs and change the pace of things in the backfield. So that was 6th pick, strategy and breakdown. As the weeks go on, how rankings change and the board moves, because every draft's different, obviously, entering the 2025 fantasy football season.